Yeah.
So we were talking about the album. You guys are telling me you have a new album that you're working on.
We are. We're kind of, well, a bit more than halfway. The only thing left we have to do are solos and drums recorded at Sound Market Studio. Guitar is there as well, but the rest done in my basement.
You guys are producing it yourselves? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's all of us just kind of sitting in on each session and just kind of saying yay or nay.
Yeah, we're pretty good at policing ourselves in terms of like whether or not someone else has played their part well, or you know, whether it needs to be done again.
I think Rob said it right. Like, I mean, we do police ourselves really well. Like, if something was shit, we'll tell each other shit. Like, you know. Yeah. But I mean, the magic of digital recording, like, you know, if something's kind of wrong, you're like,
it's not like you were
just like this interview. Through the magic of television, the boring parts of this interview will be cut the hell out.
Like what you just said.
Please. Yeah.
Touche, salesman. Touche. We gotta give credit though to Rob Corrigan. Yeah. He engineered the drums for us, and he'll probably engineer the vocals as well. He'll be the one to mix the album. I think Dwight Dion is going to master it. Yeah, he owns a company called Spectrum Mastering, which he's got a good ear.
Yeah. Do you guys write all your songs together, or how does that work?
We have a few. Rob came in. We started as a band looking for good musicians, and Rob had a few written. We wanted to get on the ball right away.
Yeah.
So we jumped on Rob's songs and we
changed them up.
We put our own twist on them, and Rob was like, "Holy hell, yeah, that's awesome!"
Yeah.
You know, so we went with that, and we
the only song we wrote all together was the second last one we played.
My Life,
like the heavy. That was all together.
But we put a lot of twists on Rob's songs. We just wanted to get out there and start doing shit.
Yeah.
It's been too long for me and everyone else. Like, he's been searching for bands, I've been searching for bands, he's between bands, he's looking for a new one. It's ridiculous. So we get along. We're like, hell, let's just do this.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is that you can stand to be around each other.
That's what I thought was cool. Like when we first started jamming together, like Rob, the song's pretty much already done, but we worked so well together that the songs ended up changing naturally. Like, and it wasn't like we tried to. But I thought that was kind of cool.
And I think that I remember one of the things Graham said to me about what happened was Graham and Kyle were jamming together, and I guess you guys had jammed together a couple of times, and I had just come down from Toronto, and so we met on an online dating site, the three of us, for straight males looking for bands. It's called Kijiji. And and I remember Graham and I having the conversation one night about just the fact that, you know, I think Kyle had mentioned that, you know, well, I don't want to join a band and just play this guy's songs, because Graham had heard a couple of the MySpace demos that I had online. And he was, you know, he was like, well, you know, I don't want to be just like playing a guy's songs, you know, and yeah, exactly, and but not even hired, you know. There was no promise of money anywhere, and pretty quickly we all realized that it was like, you know what, I had a couple of songs that I had the seeds for, you know, basic, you know, verse, chorus, verse, and a vocal melody, and then, you know, we pretty quickly we figured out that, you know,
you'd never had harmonies before.
Yeah, I'd never had anybody that could do harmonies. You know, I would just do my own on recordings, and that would be it. But Kyle would come in, and we quickly realized that Kyle could change up, you know, vocal harmonies, where he could say, you know, dude, let's add a harmony here, or, you know, I remember one of the big things he did was Kyle was, you know, kind of like, dude, let's add another bar to this. And, you know, and on a different song, Graham was like, let's cut this out. And then, you know, the very last song we played, the solo on that, is huge, you know, and it was really long before, and you get really attached to your own kind of little things. And then he was like, well, you know, just listen to it like this, and sure enough, it was way better.
It's neat to see someone else approach your song, like the things that they'll add to, you know.
Exactly, and it wasn't even it wasn't even my song. It was our song then. Like all of a sudden, it was like it didn't take long to realize that there was some cool riffs and stuff, like arrangements that I could throw out there, and then like as you know, as soon as the four of us got together, everything went through, like just got overhauled, and
We never took 100, like even like on the album, like you said, like it's not going to be like song written by Rob, like Rob Gillen. Like it's written by Armada Drive.
Once the band gets their hands on it, it's something completely different.
So I mean, like like we signed up for SoCan, and like Rob did spend the time like writing these songs and coming up with them, but where they've changed so much now that it's when we did sign up for SoCan, it's like that's it. If we get royalties, it's 25. I mean, like we all come from different backgrounds in music. Like I know me and Kala tend to be more like really fucking heavy metal, like you're
Punk metal, pet.
Like Rob, like you don't really listen to like super like death metal like me and Kyle do, but you still like heavy stuff like Lamb of God and like,
It goes band by band for me. Like I'm not like a diehard, but like Botch, Burnt by the Sun. I love bands that some people would love. But yeah, mostly my style coming into it was, huge fan of Big Wreck. What Ian Thornley did for, Canadian rock in the mid-late 90s. And even now as Thornley,
Alright, so what about, okay, here's a question I wanted to ask you. Do you guys, now that you like, you kind of have your songs together, you're like brought your songs in and you're starting to play as a band with shows now, do you have like a direction or a vision in mind of where you're going to head now that you all kind of are as a collective and you're going to start, you know what I mean? Is there a certain direction you want to go in?
Yeah, we're all over the map. We're kind of crazy, and if anyone ever picked us up or said, hey, you're awesome, I guarantee they would say, you gotta straighten it out and play one kind of music. It's we're all over the map. And which is good for us and good for I think our fans. And
different people can like different types of things. Like different songs.
I mean, we play softer, heavier, rapish, punkish, metalish, rock. It's all over the map.
That was what I took from the 90s. It was like there were a lot of bands out there who were like, let's have a few songs on an album that are heavy as hell, and then let's have some more songs
the whole
that are
grunge thing was like that for sure.
Exactly, it was that soft, heavy dynamic, right? And I mean, without trying to recycle the word grunge, I mean, we were all like early teens of the whole 90s rock, that era that produced so many great bands, and I mean, I think it shows in what we're doing.
But also, like, as the last decade of the 2000s, as we have grown as musicians, I know, at least for me, like, where I start to move from, say, Metallica and Nirvana to Mastodon and appreciate and start to get into things like Rush, and you know what I mean. I think that as we keep writing, especially with the song we just wrote in one sitting, it's like kind of progressive because there's like 7 different parts. I mean, we didn't try to write it like that, but I think that's kind of cool, like how progressive metal and rock kind of present itself when
it doesn't sound forced either. If there are a bunch of parts in a song, it never sounds like
it's not contrived.
Yeah, it's not contrived. It wasn't just like we're having a riff party over here on the guitars. Like let's just change it up again and again and again and again. For us it flowed. It should have gone there. Yeah.
It's a matter of keeping it simple. Before I found these characters, it was a matter of like, hey, I gotta write a whole song on guitar to carry the song. I'm like, no, I want a vocalist that can carry a song. I want a drummer.
Like the whole band. I mean, that's any good band. The whole band is important.
I can do 2-chord. I can do 2-chord riff that'll carry a chorus. It's gonna be boring if I just do it by myself, but if I have a solid vocalist, solid drummer, solid bass line behind me, it's gonna sound badass.
I think we're running out of time here and video cameras.
All right,
but thanks for talking to me, guys.
Awesome to meet you guys.
And thanks for inviting us down to the show and everything.
Yeah, it's great.
That was awesome. I enjoyed the set. Definitely.
Noisography.com. Woo!